My name is Miss Maria. I am a teaching artist with Arts for Learning Miami. I teach visual arts and arts and crafts. In each one of my classes in this series, I will teach a different art activity. Visual arts and arts and crafts help develop creativity and critical thinking skills. We will be working with different materials, ideas, and tools to make great art. Let's get ready. So we're doing an activity today with mixed media using fibers, which is simply fabric, and watercolor, paint, and all kinds of wonderful things to make a beautiful statement. This activity is for kindergarten all the way to high school, but we're going to target it from kindergarten through 5th grade. The activity that we're going to do today is going to require quite a bit of materials, I think. You will need like a cookie sheet with a waxy side. You will need a piece of muslin, paper towels, like a painter's brush, regular art brush, watercolor, staples, tissue paper, glue, water, maybe a pencil, and depending on how your project is going to end, you might need Fiberfill or thread if you're doing embroidery. To get started, we take our muslin. First off, you need to wash your muslin to take the sizing off the fabric. The fabric needs to be nice and soft and pliable. You lay the white muslin or the beige muslin on top of the baking sheet and you staple it, and I would staple it on all 4 corners because you don't want this to shift after you glue it. So I'm going around and I'm stapling all the way around. It doesn't matter that the fabric is wrinkled, but you want to have the fabric laying right there. Once we put the glue on this, we need to let it sit. And I'm not going to do all of it. I'm just going to show you how to use it. This is like a regular, inexpensive paintbrush. And I have mixed in here some Elmer's glue and some water. And I'm going to take that emulsion and I am going to paint and push the glue into the fabric all over my big piece of fabric. So since I cannot continue doing that, it's going to take a while for this to dry. I'm just going to put it over here and I'm going to show you one that already has the glue on it. As you can see, it's not quite stuck. I mean, I can peel it off, but I don't want to do this until I am done painting and it's all dry. So I can take my watercolor set now and I'm going to use a long brush. Let me turn this so that it's comfortable. And I'm going to, and this is like, you can wet this. The glue is not going to come undone, and you can do a wash like regular watercolor paper, and we can bring like a blue color, and it will bleed a little bit, so you want to go right to the edge and move your paint on your fabric. And this, you can also use acrylic on this, but acrylic doesn't lend itself to stitching and sewing, and I want to use stitching and sewing. Look what happens where the glue where the fabric has come off the paper, or you left a little bit of glue not going right through the fabric. It creates these very interesting configurations here. So I'm going to do my ocean a little bit, and I'm going to add, I like to mix my colors because it's the ocean after all. Now with this, I've done a bit of the ocean, and now if I want to shift and do some watercolor tissue paper, I can also do that. So I have some, this is going to be a gold shark, like a koi shark. I can tear my paper and I just lay it right there, and it folds up nicely. And I can layer that right there. And if I want to add like even a little watercolor, I can move that around. I can create a texture with it, and I can come back and paint. And if I'm, it'll stay there. If I want to make sure that it's, and I want to give it a little bit of a sheen, I can paint over it with my water glue. So I would cover up my whole fish like this. I would layer other colors on top. And you want this to be as natural. You see how that's already adhering? It's wonderful. Because when you layer your paper, you create, and you sort of just tear it out. So here we have how this fish is beginning to work out in the process of layering the colors. Now this ends up now that if I take all this out, and I just want to share with you, I'm going to go through the process. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how this fabric comes done. It's like nice and thick, and if you see here, we added texture with the tissue paper, and we actually stitched on this paper fabric. And straight stitch is great. Kids can do that hand-to-eye coordination with the stitching and work on their motor skills and embellish this with texture. And this one was all done with tissue and acrylic paint. So we see the difference of how the material is reacting on this. And these are 2D. We can hang them on the wall. They're beautiful. Or we can get as intricate as this, where it looks almost like a quilt. And the students stitch with gold paint and added beads. Obviously, this is an older student. Now, I'm going to share with you the ones that the kindergarten children did, which we turned, and these were from this year, which we turned into pillows. And these are the same cloth paper technique. There's acrylic, there's tempera, there's watercolor. The fabric, you can see that it's got that texture and that feel to it. And the kids selected the color of the fabric. I brought a bunch of scraps to the class, and the children picked their background fabric. These are all kindergarten kids. They worked on the fabric just like the big kids. They were expressive. They mixed colors. I hope I have this correctly. This is a turtle, and we see the head here, and we see the back of the turtle. Beautiful work. I'm so pleased with it. And here's another turtle, all done with the same process of painting on fabric and embellishing and mixing colors and changing the function of fabric. I hope you enjoy the presentation, and come back. One more turtle. I can't leave this one behind. I think this is Diego's turtle, and he made sure that I made his pillow and I showed it. So now I'm gonna go back to working on my beautiful fish. I'm gonna add some of my loose glue. You can also use gloss medium. Now gloss medium is a little pricey, but Elmer's glue, white glue, works just fine. And you know that as we layer the same color of tissue paper on top, we double the intensity of the color. So I love working with fabrics, and when we get to stitching, it's a natural. It's a natural. You have fabric. Kids go, oh, that's what you make clothes with. Well, that's what we make art with. So you see the texture, how beautiful that looks, and I can go on and on and on. And I think I'm going to finish this fish tonight. So here, I'm going to add a big red piece right here. There you go. And remember, You cannot lift this off until it's completely dry. It's got to stay stuck there until you're done. Until it's done and dry and ready for everything else that you want to make. Something for the wall, a pillow, a toy, a gift, and making art with fabric is a lot of fun. So here's my fish. It's kind of like a funky shark. I had a great time working with you today, and I hope you come back to do art with Arts for Learning Miami and Miss Maria. Don't forget to ask a parent or guardian to share pictures or videos of your project with A4L Miami and use the hashtag A4L at home on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.